There's an important link between the work Green Corridors does and the communities we engage in. In all of our projects, we always try to engage with our communities, get their perspectives, and come up with solutions, collaboratively working with them in terms of how can we minimize and manage waste within the informal settlements that we're working in.
These are floating devices installed along the waterways, and they are there to trap litter. How effective are these litter booms? They trap all the litter that flows along the water, and the litter gets taken out of the water once it's been trapped and put aside and being sorted and taken to one of our waste beneficiation center.
Nakhona sithatha khona imfucuza lesuke ikhona emphakathini sisebenzise ngendlela yokuthi kwazi ukusinika ama-paver iphinde futhi isize wona umphakathi uyabenefita kuyona le center.
We've got our Bokashi operation, and this operation is designed around taking green garden waste and converting it into a very high quality Bokashi compost. We'll be giving some of that to parks and using some of that in the community vegetable gardens.
Our Wilderness Park program at Green Corridors provides a unique outdoor learning experience, development, team building, social interactions, and social cohesion, which are evident through our body movement programs with our school-age going kids and our elderly clients, which form part of this program.
Green Corridor uveze amathuba emsebenzi nathi sikhona ukwazi ukuthi sisebenze la sibeke isinkwa etafuleni.
The benefits of tourism in a community, it brings about jobs, because once you've got a tourism active site, it has to employ and it employs people. So it makes communities places of work as well as places of activities of play. It has a potential that it could release a number of new entrepreneurs that could come up because of seeing the opportunities that exist in the tourism value chain.
Ama-trails aka-Durban Green Corridor la eNanda Adventure Site avule amathuba amaningi omsebenzi. Baningi abantu abaqashiwe ku-Durban Green Corridor. Sesiyakwazi ukubona izinto ezinjengo-mountain biking. Sesiyakwazi ukubona nabantu bezohayikha kuwona lama-trails. Nawo umphakathi usufundisekile ukuthi kufanele uyinakekele imvelo, unganahli amaphepha noma yikuphi noma yikanjani.
Green Corridor ne-bike park isiza kakhulu iy'ngane ezomphakathi ukuthi ziphelele kakhulu ngama-drugs ngoba kubanje size ngokuthi zibe fit kakhulukazi emantombazaneni ukuthi ay'phathe kahle enze kahle nasemphakathini angayitholi eseholeleka ophansi.
It is evident within our communities. The work that has been done by Green Corridors has become a large success. Not only are communities benefiting financially through accommodation, also benefiting from them in the tourism perspective, but it is evident within the many relationships being built from international to local. The relationships being built throughout the years has become very profitable within other organizations who are in partnership with Green Corridors.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Andiswa Dlamini from our tourism team. Today, we're going to be delivering the yearly reports of what's happening from 2023 to 2024. Just to do our introduction, our formal introduction, I'd like to hand over to our company secretary, Mr. Nkosinathi. Hand over to you. Are we reaching?
Yes, hello, I am here.
Yes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this celebratory reflection of the work the Green Corridor has done. in the past year since our last session. I'd just like to take this opportunity. Thank you firstly for the opportunity and welcome to everyone that is here with us today, and our stakeholders, our funders, and our staff, our external supporters, and special welcome to Gary Cullen and Shelley Geeling from one of our funders. And I say it's a special welcome because it's on the advent of their retirement. And we would like to take this opportunity as well to wish them a happy retirement and to thank them for all the work and the support that they have given us throughout the years. So yeah, without further ado, thank you everyone and welcome to this session.
Thank you, Mr. Nkosinathi. Musa, now over to us, the lively people who are always on the ground. Let's reflect on our year, you know. Musa Shange is our coordinator from Green Spaces. Musa, let's reflect 2023 to 2024, action on the ground in Green Spaces, just a few things, you know, from the stats of 2,000 tons of litter being removed by your teams from our rivers. We've had about 16 litter bins being installed as well in our rivers. We've had 3,200 children who have been exposed to environmental awareness in our communities in and around Durban. I mean, that's just a few of the things being done by our Green Spaces team. So, so just lightly, briefly, to the point, tell us about what has been happening on the ground in Green Spaces.
Sure. No, thank you, Susan, and greetings to everyone. As you rightly pointed out, Susan, there's been some quite interesting projects that have been happening on the ground. But I think the most interesting one from our side as Green Spaces program has been, you know, our absorbent hygiene project or collections initiative that we started last year with support from Kimberly-Clark, who are known as nappies producers. So in partnership with ETH Zurich, we formalized our partnership and we carried out a pilot project where we try to extract as much from the vulnerable communities, namely Johanna Road and Blackburn Village. So these are informal communities where little to no services there. So because given that these are hazardous and also they pose a great human health hazard to humans, so we saw an opportunity there, and with support, as I said, from Kimberly-Clark, we kind of initiated, which has been very successful. But I think the next video is going to demonstrate as to how much we're able to impact and have that project going.
Let's go to the video.
Before the project, it was terrible. I don't know how can I put it in order for you to understand. The AHP waste used to be lying everywhere. Ladies' stuff, children's nappies, everywhere. It was just a disgrace.
In South Africa, inequality really structures what level of services we're able to access from the municipality. In formal areas, we have pretty good, pretty reliable waste collection. In communities like Johanna Road and Blackburn, they rely on systems that aren't reliable.
Whatever comes out from here and that is not properly disposed ultimately ends up in the sea.
My name is Amina Keneta. I was born here in Johanna Road. In some cases here, people are living in like a one-bedroom house. It sometimes makes up a total of 8 people. And there's some who live up there, it's 15 of them in 2 bedrooms and just 1 kitchen. So they are crowded and there's too many babies who are using nappies there.
So AHP stands for absorbent hygiene products. So nappies, feminine hygiene products, Kleenexes, wipes. It is one of the most problematized waste fractions of all the household waste that's generated. If you live in an informal community, you don't have a yard, you don't have a garage, you can't really store your waste. And AHP waste, and nappies in particular, you really don't want to store in your house at all. You want to get it out as quickly as possible.
Some would burn the nappies, some would dig a hole, and some would just like dump it anyway.
A lot of these AHPs, you would find them in these small illegal dumping spots within the community. The dogs and cats would open those up and you would have kids playing around in these communities. And that would mean a lot of diseases and infection for the young people. So it calls for everyone to act, hence this project.
Kimberly-Clark set the ball in motion. They put a call out looking for proposals to design different types of collection systems that might work in underserviced communities within South Africa. We developed this collection system. Caregivers dropped their AHP waste in one of the many bins that are scattered throughout the community. One of our assistants comes through on a rotational basis, empties that bin, and then takes that waste to a larger storage area, which is serviced by the municipality. Rather than the waste ending up in the bush, it gets taken away to landfill, which is not the best solution, but it's progress. The first step was getting the waste and bringing it out of the community.
We have 17 bins altogether now. We collect 3 days a week. We are a team of 3. We are getting compliments from the fresh caregivers. There's not a high percentage of kids getting sick because we have closable bins.
For the crashes, this project has come with such a relief for them. Before the bins, children used to just tear the packets. Some of them play with them. Now the bins are very safe. The children cannot open. Now that the project started, you can walk freely on the streets without feeling ashamed that you'll bump into a female staff like lying anyway.
Bekumdaka inapkeni sisithola phansi ngoku sekhona le migqomo ku-clean akutholakali inapkeni phansi kuhlele ku-clean uyakwazi uqoqa inapkeni uzifake emgqomeni kutsho kuhlale ku-clean kanti ngelaa xesha abantwana beguliswa zinapkeni.
We've demonstrated a collection model that works within informal settlements. We've got incredible results. I think we've maximized the collection that we're able to collect, and it's almost pure AHP. The challenge now is to keep it going.
I think it can be upscaled to even more communities within the eThekwini region or even nationally. I think it should drastically reduce the amount of AHPs that are found indiscriminately dumped. And ultimately, it will improve the health and the livelihoods of people and help rejuvenate our local environments.
All the human beings have the same feelings. They feel they don't deserve to live in a dirty place. Even if they don't have enough resources to improve or to live a better life.
So I was born here and brought up here. I have a son now. I don't want my son to live under the conditions that I lived under. I have no choice but to put a hand in changing the whole community.
Oh, yes, and we're back. Just a reminder to everyone out there, please feel free to go onto our Green Corridor website and download our annual reports. As well as if you have any questions, please jot them down in our chats and we'll answer them. All of our staff members are present to answer any questions. Now back to us. Let's look on the ground now. We have your team, Musi, your supervisor on the ground, you have your Sane on the ground as well, working on the ground with you. Can you just explain to me what is a pocket park, firstly, and how do these pocket parks benefit our communities?
Sure. No, thank you, Susan. I've been, well, when you talk about pocket parks, you're just picking off areas where are open and accessible for people to utilize. Obviously, these areas were established by teams on the ground. Normally, these areas would normally be a dumping spots or areas that were previously infested with invasive alien plants. So our team does that work, they clear, and then they plant in indigenous plants. So that is what the team has been doing on the ground, and they've cleared over 90 hectares of not AHPs, rather alien invasive plants. That's work, as you just rightly pointed out. Sane is responsible and is assisting and supporting local farmers and gardeners as part of the greater TRMP program, and as far as securing your food security and the team that is working on the ground, green spaces, ecological rehabilitation and all those things. So I think though, for me, I think it's better that you allow a guy that is often on the ground to share.
Let's head over to the video and see them on the ground. Musa and Sane.
Hi everyone, my name is Musi. I'm working for Green Corridors on the area of Kwamashu where we manage the open space where we started a few years ago. This area where we are right now, it was a dumping site in years ago where people, they're taking whatever that they don't use it to come and throw it here. Then as Green Corridors, we decided to engage with the community to let them know that how important it is to use this space. And then we started in this space in years ago to clearing up and take out all the invasive alien plant. And now we're trying to beautify it to make the community have an open space around their areas where they are living, so that when they have events and stuff, they can come and chill in these spaces. We've got a school around here where the kids are crossing in this area to go to school. Community members, they were throwing all the rubbish things in this area. Then we try to beautify it so that the kids can have a clear area or access to the school, and even the community, it's happy with it. We've got people that come from the community that are being employed as Green Corridors field workers on it. They are working in a very good way in our community.
Greetings, I'm Fanelisiwe Nyongwane. I'm the host culturist here at Green Corridors. We work with the community when it comes to designing gardens. It's both ornamental and gardens. I help with training staff to be able to design and to maintain ornamental gardens, to create pocket parks and to do cuttings, meaning to produce plants from other plants. Another way we engage with the community is helping the local farmers with producing more yield, how to plant in a method that conserves the water, as well as the way of making soil to be more fertile.
Perfect. We've heard from Sane and Musa. Like I said, we're going to do this thing in a certain different way. It takes me back, you're speaking about pocket parks. I mean, I'm one of the dinosaurs of Green Corridor. Do you know that I'm one of the dinosaurs and ancestors of Green Corridor? I started here when I was very young, and now with me aging, we've got gray hair now. I remember like the wilderness park when it first formed. It was in the seminary. It used to be actually one of the areas they used to do alien cleaning there on one of the riverines leading there. And it was a concept adopted from the wilderness parks in Germany. And now it's actually the heart of Inanda, the deep area, where you're getting those gobos doing Zumba. You get the young kids interacting, colleges coming in. It's a lovely concept. Briefly, just to introduce Nompilo, and then we'll go over to the video.
Sure, thanks, Susan. Yeah, as you rightly pointed out, Inanda Wilderness, as you said, is right up with Inanda. It's where you find your, where river or the stream, Kopo.
Yeah,
it just starts, upstream. So having cleared those alien plants, the area is now suitable for that water or a stream to just pass through and not be, all taken up by these AIPs or anything like that. So it's now clear and it's very vibrant. The biodiversity there is quite good. So the area is now made accessible for your elderly people, as you pointed out. We have an old age home just nearby. So for them to keep healthy and fit, they engage in actual physical
They've even got
activities.
food gardens there. You get them, they plant and everything
Yeah,
goes
so
on
they've
there.
got some food gardens,
Yeah.
and also you have some, local, primary school that is, that is partnered with us. So they are, often there. That helps them in their, physical development stages, and also help connect them with the environment. So that is, part of the learning. And that's what we offer in the wilderness. Yeah, but I think Nopile will best articulate the day-to-day activities in the IWP.
Hi, my name is Nopilo Ngobo. I work here at Wilderness Park. At Wilderness Park, it's an open space where we want people to explore nature and do everything like a picnic and do gardening. And we also have school programs who are run weekly by our youth mentor. And we have our sensory garden where we want children to explore more about the sensory, the 5 senses, which they do which is linked to their syllabus at school. And they do gardening it at an early stage so that they know that food comes from the soil.
Okay, lovely. Sorry, I've got the flu, of course, but if we were doing this 2021, 2022, let's say it's COVID, we're busy doing masks right now. Yeah, how life changes so fast. Talking about life changing fast, we've got the Blackburn project. I don't know what black is burning, but you say Blackburn, and in my mind, what is Blackburn and what is that project? Just a little bit before we head off to Nick.
Sure. No, thanks, Susan. When we talk about Blackburn, it's just another informal community that is just north of Durban, just toward the north. It's on your left, on your N2, just before you cross Ohlanga River. So yeah, that's a community that is, under severe stress. I can mention the waste management issues that are not working out. We have sanitary issues. So yeah, you would hear it comes up many a time, like your AHPs, it was there, and also now as Green Corridors or as Green Spaces program, we want to expand and extend our footprint, and that area has been identified as areas where we can actually come up with some solutions for those immediate, what you call immediate solutions to these huge issues that they're facing. But beyond that, we have partnered with some, strategic partners like Border. Also, the municipality is very involved, human settlement and other units. But then again, I think Nick can give a bigger context and more on that.
I'm next one, program manager for Green Spaces and Green Corridors, and interesting things, exciting things happening in Ohlanga, one of the catchments we were working. 2020, we did the catchment framework partnership plans, but we're getting very close now to significant implementation. We have been doing in recent months is there's the solvent hygiene products and nappies collections, very successful, 93% collected. But right now, we have a focus with various partnerships coming up, which basically would address some of the climate threats of floods and build resilience. One of the things is planting 300 trees in Waterloo. We've engaged with RunRes, looking at composting, co-composting at the Phoenix Wastewater Treatment Works. But in Blackburn, that's pretty much a focus at the moment. Solid waste, sanitation, and wetlands are a focus. We're building a partnership with Border, German-based NGO, and through more integrated approaches, Green Corridors can, behind that, connect the dots of solid waste sorting at source, where your food waste can go into composting, go into food security, and hence increased effectiveness of your ecosystem services means cleaner water, which hopefully contributes to the possibility of restoring blue flag status on the beaches in Umhlanga.
Yes, we've heard from Nick, we've heard from all the rest of the team. I mean, let's now look at the circular economy. I mean, how do we see it looping together to our verification center, which we have, our solution center, which we have based also in Guamash.
Sure. Now, thanks, Susan. As you just heard from Nick, the idea around separation at source, trying to extract as much as we can the recyclable material, non-recyclable. Unfortunately enough, because we, as you said, we have this beneficiation center where a lot of research and development and investigation into these new technologies to how we can utilize what is considered waste into producing more valuable products or usable products. But that has been happening over some time. I think going forward, we're going to be also exploring the bokashi composting aspects of things, extracting all the organic waste, because there's from the restaurants, communities, there's a whole lot of sort of material or waste material that can be processed to new products that we are also exploring, as I mentioned, composting. So that is where we are looking at bringing in those economic opportunities and supporting local SMEs and establishing new even. So that is basically where we are. But other than that, we are looking forward to going forward and creating opportunities for these communities that we're working in. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Linking to that economic opportunity and circular economies, let's hear it from the tourism aspect from Duncan. Duncan, if you could join us. If you could join us, please.
Thank you, Musa. Yeah, without the good work of the Green Spaces team, we don't have a healthy environment in which tourism can thrive.
Also, just a kind reminder to everybody, please go onto our website, download our annual reports, as well as any questions, put them there on the chat and we'll answer them as soon as
before we get going. I really want to tell people about our podcast as well.
Oh,
There's a really good podcast series out, which has been done in partnership with East Coast Radio. So if you just go onto our website under blog, you can find it there. Or if you search any of your Spotify or Apple podcasts, any of your favorite podcasts, and just search for the Green Scene. And we cover a range of subjects, from how you can be more environmentally friendly at home to some of the environmental challenges in Durban to biodiversity and understanding the strange little critters you get around your house. And it really does give a lot more. That series of podcasts gives a lot of insight into the work we do.
Yes, perfect. Now back onto tourism, the cool stuff. How do we get Durban out there visiting our hidden gems? Yes, I'm part of the tourism team. So the more people come, the more money we get. Yes. How is this tourism thing going? Are we getting businesses up and supporting SMEs? Because that was really the initiative.
Yeah, so our tourism program really is around integrating people's livelihoods and environmental benefits. If people can get value from nature, there's an economic incentive to protect it. And
definitely.
When you go inland from Durban, I mean, when you head out towards the Dam and up towards Nkosinathi, there's spectacularly beautiful places and wild places, and
the scenery.
The scenery is, you could be 1,000 kilometers. There's places where you can look around and you do not see a single homestead. You could literally be 1,000 kilometers away from
and when you're on top of the Inanda Mountain, you get to see Gateway, you get to see the beach road, you get to see it's a 360 view. So
and seeing the sunrise over the sea.
Sunrise, and there's apparently some movement that happens when you're on the mountain. So our tour guides would think about it. Like, do we have any videos of our guides who can actually tell us more about it?
We do, yeah. I think, and so all of these, I think we've got a couple of them from Inanda Adventures, so a lot of these, they're various sites. So all of these sites are managed and owned by the community. What was really cool for us last year is, I think it was the first year where we actually, our sites generated more income than business we had actually sent them. So for me, this is a really important outcome because it shows that these young entrepreneurs are actually maturing, their businesses are running, they're getting their own business, they're becoming less reliant on green corridors. And that creates an opportunity for us to start, nurturing a new group of entrepreneurs. But let's
let's
from the guys on the ground.
yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Gabi Ngobo. I am from here in Nanda Adventures. I worked here for Green Corridors from 2011. I was being a guide. I was guiding clients all around here in Nanda Adventures. And it's got to a point whereby Green Corridors helped me in terms of opening my business. So now I'm a businessman here at Inanda Adventures. I'm owning the Inanda site. I'm running the activities here. And my biggest dream is to see this site functioning very well, getting a lot of customers. We like printing more money, helping more community, doing more employment from this area, getting more people involved, and also work harder and also make sure that, because we're also working with the kids. I was also working with the cycling academy, helping kids to get on the bikes, and also to make sure that they are not involved in trucks and stuff. So we're also helping the kids and making sure that they also learn more about the importance of the environment and stuff. So I'm very, very happy to be here, and I'm hoping the business will continue rise and rise. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Rasta Ruben, here in Overrock, known as Sipo Hadebe. I started Overrock in 2020, and I met Corridors around the end of 2020 to 2021. Then they helped me to promote my place and with the Thousand Hill Tourism and the Kloof Conservancy. So my vision is to actually make a proper business so that the people can be able to benefit from the business, so that we can also have an oomph to protect the nature that is preserved here. At the end, we're looking forward to establish the backpackers accommodation. Hopefully we'll get into it, then we'll be able to accommodate people from places and places in our green space here in Molweni location.
Hey, my name is Amimi Mlaba, born and bred in a beautiful village of Isitumba in the Valley of Thousand Hills, Ward 1. We are running Isitumba Travels Adventure Park, and we cooperate with organizations such as the Great Green Corridor in making sure that our activities do reach the heights. So in the year 2023, we experienced such a large number of travelers from all over the world visiting Isitumba, particularly for the Zulu Village experience, where we take you to the Sangoma, we tell you about Ukushela, tell you about the role of the rivers in our culture, we tell you about the role of traditional healers in the contemporary culture of the Zulu people, and more. We take you to the traditional leaders, like the sub-chief of the area, tell you how they get to be elected and or appointed, and what they do in our communities. And you know, that particular experience is very unique and different, because people experience the most genuine way how people live in our areas. So for this reason, we are inviting you to come to our areas. Let me tell you one thing. Zulu has subcultures. So you may be thinking, what will I be doing a Zulu Village experience tour? Come get this well-prepared information from us, educating you about your own culture in the aspect of Isitumba Village.
Really, Mimi.
Mimi is such a character.
Definitely. I mean, on that subject of Mimi, I mean, for me, there are a couple of sites that stood out for me this year. I don't want to lie. The first one is Reuben. Yes, Reuben, and my aim was to overtake the Rasta caves in Inanda, push everyone to our Reuben with the beautiful views. And the second one was Amimi Mlaba, which was the last video, the development of the site and how we're able to carry people from the airport straight to Isitumba, from Switzerland straight to Isitumba. I mean, that's the power Isitumba has.
And what's really nice is we've got such a range of entrepreneurs. You know, you've got somebody like Mimi who's got, you know, he's got a background in tourism. You know, he's been in the industry for a long time, and you've got young guys coming in like, you know, like Ruben, who's just started his business. You know, and Mimi is a fantastic mentor for these guys. You know, and for young entrepreneurs to be able to see somebody who's done what they're aiming to achieve. It gives you, just gives you a bit of vision and for me, that's one of the really exciting things. It's just how these sites are starting to merge together and actually work with each other and support each other, rather than being competition. They're actually working on a project now to create a slack packing trail that will link you from Inanda Mountain down to Inanda Dam, up the gorge to Over Rock, and ultimately back down to Situmba and the Mkeko picnic site.
And also, with Sputiso, Sputiso is a little hidden gem, a little weapon in the backpack. The way he's able to integrate families from your Waterloo, from your Hillcrest, down just for a 4x4 ride, and just down just for tubing on the river, simple things done, but the site is all this part. I mean, those are people that we want to celebrate in our tourism.
But these are, I think that also, it's easy for us to take credit for it, but sometimes those individuals, and if you've not been to Mkeko, like,
what have you been doing?
This on your to-do list.
What have you been doing?
It is a breathtaking site. There's like a natural bump slide you can play in. But you remember a few years ago when we had that bad drought?
Yes.
I can't remember, it was 3 or 4 years ago, just before COVID, we had that really bad drought.
Was it a drought or a flood?
No, it was before the floods. I think we're going back to like 2019. So when I first met Sibusiso, and for him, he had this picnic site and these beautiful green lawns, and that's what attracted people. They could come and spend the day there. But during the drought, he went down to the Mgeni River with a bucket every single day to water that grass. So day in, day out, he was trekking water up and down from the river to keep his lawns green. And in those days, he actually wasn't really busy. It's just that sort of like dedication and commitment to making this happen, that really is that entrepreneurial, I think that grit and resilience is something that's so important for young entrepreneurs, and he showed that for like a year. He planted water just to keep his grass green. So when people came there, he had, beautiful lawns for them to relax on.
Determination. Someone just said that a few days ago. It's sheer determination. We've trained 7 guides, and I think 60% of those guides were female. We've trained them in our hiking, our tourism. We've trained them in our PUC product, which is our pop-up cats. How about our pop-up cats? Here it is.
I mean, the rationale behind this is, a lot of these areas that we've been speaking about, Mkeko, Over Rock, Matata, to go and build formal accommodation is going to cost you millions of rands, and you're not sure if you're actually going to get clients.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee, so it's big overhead costs. When people say most businesses fail in the first 4 years, yes, they do fail in the first 4 years because they've got a whole lot of debt. So what we've tried to do is create something that takes that issue away. So with these pop-up camps, Joe, who's one of our most experienced guides, and Lou and our team, they go out and they set up a luxury camp for you. There's stretchers, there's ice buckets, spreaders, toilets, showers, the whole shebang. And they're able to set up accommodation at all of these very remote sites when people are there. So if there's no demand, it gets packed away and put in. All the money from that, so the camping fees, the security, the catering, that all trickles back into the community. But the beauty of it is that it allows us to offer a fairly, I don't want to call it luxurious, but it is in terms of camping, it's luxury camping. And these mobile safaris are very common throughout East Africa and Botswana. But it allows us to do that and have accommodation in these areas, get more benefits to the community, but with zero financial risk.
Can I tell you, from someone who sits behind the desk and coordinates and organizes these things, I mean, if you look at our stats, you find that a lot of people who visit our sites are people who either never camped before, so it introduces them to camping. So they'll start off at a site which is a lot more easier to deal with, which is Inanda, where you have your logistics, and then you'll see them trickling down to Matata, where they want to actually visit all of our sites as well. So they introduce people to new products. But what I've seen also is the growth in a lot more Durbanites being exposed to our sites as well. That's from COVID till now. We still have the Durban fever of people going.
And what's interesting for me, the pop-up camps, instinct says this is going to be, upper class, middle class families, probably white people. It's not. They're young female Zulus. For me, that is fascinating. Is having, it's probably about 70%.
No, it's our tour guides. It's our tour guides. That's why the girls go.
But it is, you're getting young women going out together, groups of 6 or 7 young women going on a camping trip. And I think that's really, really cool. And it's nice. That's been, for me, as difficult as COVID was, it changed the demographics of tourism in Durban.
Definitely. I mean, I think we should start now leading out, as we will have questions and answer session now. But also another reminder, go onto our website. Please download our annual reports and the chat session as well, which is your questions and answers. But most importantly, podcast, please. Everybody go onto our link, listen to our podcast, pass it on to everybody, make us famous, get the word out there. Our podcast, make us famous. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
All is it pleasure.
And I think it's back to Nkosinathi to field any questions that may have come up in the chat. We do have the rest of our management team and several board members as panelists in the webinar. Over to you, Nkosinathi.
Thanks, guys. I'm just looking at our Q&A tab over here. We've got, we have Jeff Pallin. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. If I haven't, I apologize, no offense. Who's said he's got 10 informal settlements in Ward 58 in eThekwini, and he's very interested in joining this project. I think he was speaking under earlier presentation, and I think Karen's responded there, and Nick has also responded. He's given us his contact details. So that's that. I don't know, should we maybe just sort of allow people to pop their questions if they've got any questions on that Q&A tab? It would appear on the bottom of your screens. If you just move your cursor to the bottom of the screen, you'll have a bar there that pops up, and there's a speech box with a question mark, and just under it, it's written Q&A. If you can pop your questions, if you've got any questions there, and then we can answer those questions. Right. I see there's another question. Sean O'Donoghue. Hi guys, lovely work. How are you advertising your pop-up camps and other work? Sean O'Donoghue, Climate Change Department. Duncan?
Cool. Yeah, so most of our marketing for the pop-up camps and most of our work, we rely a lot on social media. Our publicist, Charlene Fasfelt, reaches out a lot to local newspapers, national media, local media. So we try not, with budgets and budget constraints, we try not to spend too much on traditional marketing. So we rely a lot on word of mouth, a lot on electronic marketing, a lot on local media. But I'd say certainly on the tourism side, it's word of mouth has been probably and I think that's the norm in tourism. Once people have experienced these things, they tell their friends. But it's certainly something that getting that experience out there more mainstream is really important to us. But at the moment, our strategy is very much around social media, influencer partners and local media and publicity.
Thanks, Duncan. And I think just to add to that, if you visit our website under resources, you'll see there's a tab there that says pop-up camps information sheet. That's somewhere you can visit as well on our website, www.greencorridor.co.za, and then you click on the resources tab on the top right hand corner of our website, right next to the contact tab. And if you scroll down, you'll see pop-up camps information sheet. Right. And then we've got Jeff again. Do you have any problem with the big bins being stolen? I think that's a question for Nick.
Good morning, Jeff. I'll put my camera on. Yep. The two informal settlements, assuming you're referring to the absorbent hygiene products collection project in Blackburn and Johanna Road. Excuse me. We haven't had bins being stolen. I think it's partly due to the education and community communications, sort of that Musa and the team there have led with our partners, ETH Zurich. But we have had damage. A car drove into one bin and lids have been, sort of broken because they're not indestructible. But basically, we haven't had bins removed. We have bolted them to a concrete base, so to make it more difficult for them just to be moved. But yeah, I think it's the solution. The key is really making it community owned and driven, so that we are there supporting something that is happening because people see value in it. Yeah, that's basically where we are.
Can I add to that, Nick? So we also had an interesting project where we made our own plastic panels using bottle tops. And with those panels, we actually made some of the bins that we put into the community. So they perhaps were unusual looking, and they too seem to have survived the what we also were concerned about is will these bins get taken? But no, we've been fortunate enough to see that they've not been displaced in any way.
All right, thanks, Nick and Jonathan. If I can just go back to Sean's earlier question, I think he's somewhat satisfied with the answer that we gave him, because he says that he needs to take his family glamping, which will be a step up from their usual camping efforts. I really hope, Sean, that you do and that you enjoy the experience.
We'd love to have you with us, Sean. Yeah, give our office a shout anytime. We'll put that together for you.
All right. And then if we go back to Jeff, he's also satisfied with the answer that we gave him. He says, bolting them down answered my query. Right. So let me just scroll down. We've got Margaret Berger. Says, as part of our WESSA KZN volunteers group, we have a few seasoned guides who just don't fit in the youth category, but have much passion and experience. Is there any way we can connect with Green Corridors with these environmentalists to see how or where there could be an area of support?
Yeah, Margaret, definitely something we can chat about. Yeah, drop me a, you've got my email address, I know Margaret quite well, so drop me an email, Margaret. We can definitely have a chat about it, and certainly get them along on some of the trips to see how the guides work, maybe place them at some of our sites for work experience. But yeah, definitely we'd be keen to explore that.
All right, thanks, Dan. I hope, Margaret, you're satisfied with our answer there. All right, so I'm just going to sort of linger a bit for another minute or two, just in case I see something's coming through there. Margaret, thanks. Duncan, appreciate the response. All right, just in case somebody has something else, I'll linger for like a minute or two, and then I don't know if you guys wish that I move on to the chairman's report. Duncan, Susan?
Please, yeah, thanks, Nkosinathi, yeah.
Okay, right. So in our most recent annual report, which you will find under governance on our website, I did give you guys our website, and if you go under the governance tab and scroll down, you'll see that you got our governance information, and one of the very last links on that page, you will see that link to our most recent or our latest annual report. And I'm just going to read out the excerpt from our annual report from our chairman, Mr. Ndabuko Majola. And this is how it reads. This year was full of changes for Green Corridors. It had to contend with the resignation and appointment of some new board members, the eThekwini Transport Authority's agreement coming to an end, Green Corridors organization, strategy development processes, and implementation of exciting green spaces and materials beneficiation center initiatives. Our diverse operations spanning ecotourism, work in the green spaces and the circular economy, have a strong administrative team and board of directors, all of whom, sorry, I'm just crying, have made efforts and used collective energy to be able to enable us to deliver on our mandate. Remarkable strides have been made in various initiatives aimed at preserving our green spaces, renewing our natural resources, creating income, generating revenue streams, and supporting small-scale entrepreneurs in the ecotourism sector. Among our notable accomplishments, we successfully implemented the Presidential Employment Programs, PEP, in which we engaged over 1,800 volunteers in tree planting, coastal cleanups, and educational workshops. 6,000 people visited our ecotourism sites, and 94 direct and indirect jobs were created. Another notable achievement was the removal of 6 tons of plastic waste from our rivers and tributaries, resulting in less waste reaching our oceans and beaches. Formalization of the Connaught Bridge waste collection site, as well as the development of our bokashi compost production at the KwaMashu Material Beneficiation Center, have also proved to be impactful initiatives. We launched the Green Schools Initiative, a project that promotes environmental education in schools. This year, 7 schools across the region participated in the program, and we reached approximately 2,100 learners in these education programs. This project has fostered a new generation of environmentally conscious individuals who are passionate about making a difference in their communities. Despite our successes, this year was not without its challenges. The ongoing impacts of climate change effects, El Nino phenomenon, and the global economic environment posed significant hurdles for green corridors and partners. However, our team's resilience and adaptability have been exemplary. We adapted our implementation strategies to address these challenges, leveraging available technology tools and accelerating innovation to continue our work effectively. These initiatives have not only sustained our momentum, but also expanded our reach to new geographical areas. And that was our report from our chairman, Mr. Ndabuko Majola, in our most recent annual report. As I said, you can find our report online under the governance tab on our website. Thanks, guys. Over to you.
Yeah, and thanks so much, everybody, for attending and for joining. We will have a recording of this video on our social medias and YouTube channels probably in the next hour or so. So yeah, welcome, Sheridan. Yeah, please remember again to go and subscribe to our podcast.
It's been a pleasure from my side. So we meet again on the podcast. Thanks, Duncan.
Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, everybody.